All right, guys. Well, definitely want to welcome everybody. You are tuned in live to the Visionary Book Club review call, and definitely excited to have each and every one of you on the call. Definitely want to say how much I appreciate you guys for having so much patience through the challenges. As you guys know, we had some difficulties with the conference bridge tonight for whatever reason, not really sure. But of course, winners always find a way to win. And that's exactly what we were able to do tonight. So again, welcome everybody to the call and welcome to the webinar. For those of you that are watching on the webinar, in fact, let me show myself real quick so you guys can see me. But definitely, hello, 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 welcome. Oh, let me fix my hair. Okay. But definitely welcome, guys. We're going to have an amazing time. We've been discussing the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, and we've been going over all of the habits. In fact, we're now on habit number 6, and I tell you, it's just been an incredible set of reviews. We've had a lot of great people participating in the reviews, and I definitely want to let you know, guys, just keep on doing the great works, okay? So with this, I also want to show you guys how you can mute my phone because I want to. I think that'll work. Okay, because I want to show you. That doesn't work. Hold on. I want to show you guys on my phone how you can hear me. That's not working. I think it's just on this side. Oh, here we go. There you go. All right. No, let's make a noise. Let me just pull it up. Unmute over here. Okay, but you're still gonna echo a little bit, so hopefully you can see. But this is on my phone. So hello, hey, how y'all doing? I'm looking at it on my phone. I've downloaded. Let me see. How can I? Oh, you guys are seeing what my phone sees. So I downloaded. I'm trying to show you what's on the phone, but you can't because it's showing you this right here. Let's see. I can't show you because you're looking at the wrong thing. You're actually looking at what's on mine. So let me pull it on this screen. But you guys are seeing if you can see. No, you can't. Well, that's okay. But on the phone right now, it has a screen of the 7 habits, but you can see at the bottom corner a picture of me. So one of the people, when they're reviewing, they can be seen on the video, okay, just like you're seeing me now on the video. And so what I want is for more of us to participate so you can utilize your cell phones to be able to do so and be able to participate on these. And so I just wanted to download it on my phone, and it literally took me a matter of a couple particularly from from this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I tell you guys, just personally, reading this book again for the second time has absolutely been a very mind-opening experience for me, and I've learned a whole lot about it. Now, for those of you guys that are just tuning in, my name is Taria Avant, and I am the creator of thevisionarybookclub.com. And so let me go ahead and record on the conference line. I had stopped it because I didn't want to record all of, what we were talking about here on this particular, how to, see the video. So one sec, guys. Awesome. All right. So now, okay, so again, guys, welcome. My name is Taria Avant. I said that already, but I'm going to say it again. I am the creator of thevisionarybookclub.com. And it is definitely an opportunity for all of us to be able to get together and be able to expand upon our mind, body, and soul through personal development, guys. I had a vision to create this, not just because I'm a lover of reading. I'm going to be transparent. Reading books is probably one of the biggest challenges for myself. Personal development was definitely big because I wasn't really a big book reader. But creating this Visionary Book Club has really held me accountable, because I know that every single week I have made a commitment to be able to review this information and material, whether or not if I'm presenting or not. That's how I would treat it as well. If you're a member of this Visionary Book Club, I would treat it as, hey, I might be presenting this, or I am holding myself accountable so that I can be able to review on the next book club call. So as we have said before, we're reviewing the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and now on today we're actually going into habit number 6, which is synergy. Okay, synergy. Just to kind of go over what we've gone through so far in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We've gone through habit number 1, which is definitely very important, being proactive. Okay, being proactive instead of reactive. Not reacting to every single thing that happens to us, but being proactive, doing things before situations happen, making decisions to take steps and do things of that nature. Number 2 is begin with the end in mind. I always talk about this. Always focus on where it is that I'm going to be and not where I am. Focusing on the end in mind. When you focus on the end in mind, what happens is things will start to align for you. Your subconscious will start to kick into play, and things will happen for you so that you can be able to move towards that end in mind. Number 3, put first things first. Understanding your schedule and being able to schedule your time according to where it is that you want to go. Understanding what's important, what's not important, what's busy work, what's not busy work, what's effective work, and what's not effective work. Number 4, think win-win. Being able to find the best solution for both parties involved. Absolutely critical. It's definitely important to be able to find any kind of situation a win-win environment, instead of win-lose or lose-win or lose-lose or win environment, but win-win environment. And then number 5, we talked about seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I think that was just definitely a very, very important part in regards to just understanding how to listen, being an empathic listener, having empathy, and the importance of what it means to have empathy, how empathy can be good, but it can also be bad, because you're really, really leaning into understanding why this person is the way they are. And in situations like that, it doesn't always necessarily mean that you agree, but you understand. And so then now into Synergize, or synergy, right? And this is a very, very good section. In fact, it's not as long as all, because once you've gotten to this point, typically you've really, really gone to another level. It's just now making them all work together, synergy. Okay. Now, what I want to talk about, because one of the questions that I did ask is, what is your learning style? And the reason why I asked this question, and I meant to send out the different types of learning. If you are a part of my visionary circle, you know that I do have a post where I talk about different kinds of learning, and they're a little different from what I have here. But I think it's important because of the fact that when we're trying to be able to be in a synergistic, or please forgive me, in a synergy environment, right? When we want to be in a synergy environment, we have to be able to understand, how do people learn, how do people, interpret, what is the reasoning for where they are, and a lot of individuals' learning styles and intelligences. And so I went through, I came through a couple of ideas of what different styles of learning were, or intelligences, and I asked this question because I think it's very important to see how a lot of people learn differently. A lot of people learn differently. Learning through reading, writing, and telling stories. One of the things that I love to do is I love telling stories. But I also love teaching, mathematical, right? Learning through logic, patterns, categories, relationships. I remember working with a gentleman who was very, very mathematical. Everything was numbers. He learned through facts. And I used to always joke about it, but that's just the way he learned. That's how he was able to interpret information. Kinesthetic, right? Learning through bodily sensations, touching. I know people that do learn through that. Certain people that have to lean on certain senses, they learn through those types of ways, right? Learning through images and pictures. A lot of people I know, they have to be able to visualize, right, before they can even interpret what it is that's being taught. Learning through sound and rhythm. I was watching a young girl the other day. I think she was about 3 years old, and she was reciting scriptures from the Bible. Her mother was just giving her different scriptures. I don't know that they were random, but it doesn't matter. I mean, this young girl had memorized like well over 10 scriptures. When she first started, though, she was doing it in a rhythm. And so I was understanding, okay, she might be learning through rhythm. A lot of teachers teach in this matter, to be able to teach through images and pictures or through sounds and rhythm. Then learning through interaction and communication with others, right? And then learning through your feelings. And so when you're looking at working with people and creating an environment of synergy, you've got to understand how everybody works. And this is important in this particular section, in this habit. And so I wanted to ask, how do you learn? Now, the definition of synergy is the interaction, and this is what I looked up, online. The interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate efforts. Okay, and we're going to talk a lot about that. I loved how separate efforts, different people, different thoughts. To create synergy, it doesn't mean that everybody thinks the same exact way. In fact, I think I was having a conversation with a really good friend of the effectiveness of a relationship if everybody thinks the same exact way. And it's very difficult to have an effective relationship if you guys, you don't grow from that if everybody thinks the same way. But you can still create synergy through all your different thoughts and being able to come up with great ideas and solutions for whatever kind of challenges may arise. Now, synergy is everywhere. Okay, synergy is everywhere. Synergy is, when I think about my house right now, how is synergy in my house? Well, I'm thinking about how the air conditioning is working right now in my house. It's nice and cool, and guys, it's actually working through synergy. What do you mean by that, Taria? Well, I mean that there's a lot of wires going on over there in the machine, and all types of gadgets and things taking place, and they're all working together, even though they might all be doing different things, but they're all working together to create synergy. My body, your body has synergy going on right now. You have all types of organs that are responsible for different activities, but they're all working together so that you can breathe, you can speak, you can talk, you can hear, you can do things, and your body is creating synergy. He talks about having plants. When you grow two plants together, they're stronger than when you grow them apart. When all of our organs are working together, our body is stronger than when one organ is failing, right? When people are all working together, we're stronger than when we're trying to work apart. And I don't know if a lot of people truly understand the dynamics of, even if you guys have different beliefs and ideas and thoughts and levels of experience, working together creates a stronger bond. It just really brings me to the thought of the brand new movie, The Planet of the Apes, that just came out. And one of the things Caesar was always talking about is together, apes strong. So with synergy, we're strong. But when one breaks out and creates chaos, right, we're weak. And, Dr. Covey talks about having two boards, two pieces of wood. If they're separate, they're weak, but you can put those two pieces of wood together and now they're strong. So synergy is everywhere. Synergy is a situation where everyone wins as well. Sometimes in a win-win situation, it might be, 1 + 1 = 1.5. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, a strong example of where 1 + 1 = 1.5 instead of 2 is the example of when he was talking about the wife and the husband, where the wife wanted to go see her sick mother and help relieve her sister who had been taking care of her sick mother, but the husband wanted to go on a trip with the children, a fishing trip, and both of them were not budging. She wanted to see her mother, he wanted to go on a trip. And so, what Dr. Covey does is comes up with two different scenarios. A win-win situation in both of these scenarios. The win-win could be, well, she goes to see her mother, then he goes on a fishing trip with the sons. But the entire time, while it seemed as if it was a win-win, it honestly ends up being like a lose-lose, because now both of them are feeling some kind of guilt. Maybe she's feeling guilty for leaving her husband. Synergy he's feeling guilty for not supporting his wife and being there in a time where her sister as well as her mother may have needed her. And so in a synergy environment, right, in a synergy environment, now what they do is they identify the solutions and come up with something where both of them can win and still feel good about the situation. So now in this situation, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, it equals 11, it equals 100, it equals 1,000, right? Because everybody wins, and they win bigger than what they would have won just by being able to get that solution, right? We can attain greater success if we work together, okay? Now, what is the difference between habits, this habit and habit number 4? Now, as you know, habit number 4 is think win-win, okay? Habit number 4 is think win-win. But then habit number 6 is synergy. There's not a major difference other than the fact of what we just explained. In every win-win situation, it's not necessarily creating synergy in that environment, okay? If both people have gotten what they wanted, but at the end of the day, we could have made such a bigger solution by being able to create a synergistic, and I'm making up words, but a synergy environment, right? And so that's what we've got to be able to do. That's why we want to be able to take ourselves not just from habit 4, but from habit 4, 5. So in order to get to the synergy environment, you have to understand the other person, what it is that they want, then you can be understood. That's why I think it's so important that he put habit number 5 before habit number 6, of course, which is to first be to understand before you are understood, right? Seek to understand, then to be understood. That's why that is so important before creating the synergy environment, okay? And so I think, guys, you want to make sure that in every challenge, start to try to figure out a way where everybody wins, and everybody wins in a major way. I love working with leaders that operate in that fashion. There can be synergy in your family. There is synergy in the classroom, synergy in your business. Again, like I said, synergy in your body. When I think about any and everything, one of the audios, the videos that I love to watch is The Secret, right? And The Secret. And he talks about how any and every living thing in this world, or not even non-living things, they're all created and they're all sticking together through some source of energy. There's an energy combined. So, for example, like this pocketbook that I have here, right? Well, there's some synergy taking place. The reason why this pocketbook is staying together, I mean, hopefully, guys, this is making sense, because this is getting to the point where we're getting extremely deep. But there's a synergy here that's keeping this pocketbook together, because if I was to put this pocketbook into fire, right, it can create a lot of chaos, but then it'll melt. It'll melt, and it'll break that synergy, okay? So in everything that we have and do everywhere in the world for things to operate properly, guys, synergy is created. And I want you to look at that. I want you to identify how everybody and everything, it just all works together to create that environment for you to win. And you've got to be able to create that environment within your life as well, okay? And so synergy is everywhere. So now, how do I obtain synergy in any situation, from the house to business to the classroom, wherever it's going to be? How do I obtain synergy? Well, there's 5 steps that Dr. Covey goes over. The first step, number one, is to identify what is the challenge. You know, you want to make sure that you have a full understanding of what the challenge is, what the situation is. Make sure you know what it is, okay? That is important because you can't really create a solution unless you know what's going on, right? Number two is what do they, right, the other person suggest as a solution. So you're first seeking to understand, right? First, seek to understand. So what do they, that is the other party, whether it be just one other person or it be multiple persons, what do they suggest as a solution? And make sure, remember, you're practicing empathic listening. That's what we talked about just last week, okay, in habit number 5. You got to practice that. You got to be able to understand why it is that they think the way they think. Goes back to understanding how do they learn, how do they operate. And so that is important to know that about people, and you really learn this through interaction, okay? You can't really always ask somebody, well, how do you learn, or how do you think, or how do you operate? You know, it's really through you observing and learning and through empathic listening, you know, really being able to identify where that person is coming from. So that's important, okay? First, you got to know why, you know, what they believe is the solution, right? Then once you fully have listened to their solution, you've gotten an idea of what it is that they believe could be the way to solve this challenge. Then number 3, then you suggest a solution. What do you suggest? But remember, this takes a lot of trust from the other person. You have to have emotionally deposited, or you have to have deposited into their emotional bank account, okay? If you haven't done a lot of deposits, it's very difficult to get to this second step. You can't create synergy in any environment if the person doesn't trust you. The person doesn't trust you, they don't really care what you have to suggest in regards to the solution to the challenge because they feel like they already know. And so that's why it's so important. In order to create a synergy environment, we've got to be able to work on that person's emotional bank account. Now, some people don't know. I know you're just tuning in. You haven't really heard about what the emotional bank account is, but really it's different things that you can do to build trust in other people. From listening, and listening not just with your eyes, but listening with your heart. Listening full, giving that person full attention, not interrupted, not, you know, as if you already know, not judging that person, not trying to give, you know, solutions to stuff before they even ask. It's more so you're listening and understanding, not just with your eyes, not just with your ears, but also with your heart. You know, emotional deposits can be a whole lot of stuff. Spending time with people, you know, just talking to people. And so you have to be able to build that trust with someone before you can actually make the suggestion of what you believe the solution is for that challenge. This is why understanding habit number 5 is so important, because we can understand what a win-win solution is, but again, if that person don't trust you, it's null and void, okay, of whatever it is that you suggest. Now, I think this right here was an amazing step next, because you've had the other person now go over what it is that they believe is the solution to the challenge. You've now gone over what you believe is the solution, and because you have deposited so much into that person or that group's emotional bank account, they are able to receive it, they're able to hear it, and they're able to really interpret from it. And then next step is to be able to brainstorm new ideas together, right? And that right there is what really creates that synergy environment, to be able to brainstorm together with different ideas of what we can do. And typically what happens is when you have an environment where the synergy is starting to happen, when everybody is starting to come together, there will be so many ideas that will start popping up. Why? Because we're able to now receive everything wholeheartedly without judgment. And this is where you want to be. You know, this is where you want to be. You want to be in an environment where you guys can together be able to create solutions where everyone wins. And so the example with Dr. Covey, with the husband and the wife, creating that environment is, okay, well, now she's addressed what she needs to do. I need to be with my mom. You know, I want to help my sister. He said, well, hey, we told the kids that we're going fishing. They really want to go fishing. And we need, you know, we've got to be able to do this for the kids. And so now they've created, you know, what they want to do. And, you know, so what he said, well, you know what, honey, you can go to your mom. and we'll just let the kids know, you know, you had to go and everything will be okay. And her solution is, well, honey, you can go fishing because I know the kids really want to go, and, you know, we'll just connect later after I get a chance to see her, right? So now what you guys do, well, let's come up with something where we both can win in this situation. And the suggestion is, well, how about instead of using the fishing spot that we were going to go to, let's try to find something that's a little bit closer to your mother so that we can actually we can do both things. On top of that, let's invite some of the family out to the fishing area so that we can spend more time with the family. And so now what would have turned into just us going fishing, which is 1 + 1 = 2, now we've got the family coming, we're closer to your mom, we might even be able to bring her some fish, right, that we've cooked up. Guys, we've now created 1 + 1 = 100, 1,000. And so now we've created a synergy environment because guess what? Both of us have trust in each other. Both of us have deposited to each other's emotional bank account. We respect each other's opinion. We have empathic listening, and it's just working out for everybody. And so that's absolutely incredible. And then based off of the brainstorm and the ideas, then we have come up with the solution, guys. And that's where we all want to get to. You know, I don't know if anybody has ever been in a situation like that, but definitely, you know, if you have some examples of that, we would love to hear about, you know, environments where you've created the best possible solution where everybody wins, and not just wins based, you know, wins in just what it is that they wanted, but wins in a major way. Okay, so next thing, guys, is remember this, you know, when we're creating that environment, is that we must remember always that we think differently. We all think differently. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different challenges in life. You know, let me say this too. We all have different challenges in life, but we all have challenges, okay? Nobody is ever, you know, obsolete from challenges. Nobody is ever going to be able to skip over that part of the life. In fact, I believe the challenges are what make you who you are today. You know, if you ever see someone who's hit a epitome level of leadership, I can guarantee you that they've gone through a lot of challenges. And so you got to understand that too. You know, it's a two-sided street. You know, when you're dealing with people at a certain level that have had a major amount of success and you want to get to where they are, you also have to understand their differences and their autobiographies and, you know, what their past was. But also when you're creating an environment where everybody's working together, you got to be able to understand, you know, just to kind of give you an idea. For example, let's just say we're all trying to come up with an idea together of something fun to do. And maybe one person says, well, let's go skating. And then another person's like, what? No, we're not going skating. No, let's go bowling. And then another person's like, no, I don't do bowling. Like, that's not my life. I want to go horseback riding, right? And so these are all three different types of activities. But again, why is it that everybody has all different types of activities? We're all the same age. It's because of probably our backgrounds, how we came up, and we are different. So in order to create a synergy environment, we've got to be able to create something where we can all win at the same time, okay, instead of making sacrifices. And a lot of times in win-win situations without synergy, there is some kind of sacrifice made so that everybody can be happy. You know, for true synergy, we must embrace the differences. We must embrace the differences. Okay? Again, we just went through these different types of learnings. And so, you know, one of the questions were, what kind of learning style do you have? And so definitely would love to know what that is. I know we've had some people who have already answered the questions. But, you know, what is your learning style? And so that it can be able to better help you to understand how you might work with different type of people. Okay? All right. Now, these all must be in place. All must be in place to initiate synergy. You got to have one common vision, one common goal. Okay? So, okay. The one common goal was that we want to be able to see mom, and we want to be able to go fishing with the kids and be able to make that all happen together. That's one common goal. Okay? Now, how we get there, it may be different because we're different. But we've got to be able to first identify. So what I would say is that in any challenge, right, if there is a challenge, the first thing we want to identify, well, what is the goal? What is your goal, right, from this challenge? To, you know, why are we even attacking this challenge? What is the goal? What is the end in mind, right? And then you want to know what the other person, and then be able to come up with that first before coming up with what the solution is of how to get to that goal. Okay? So everybody, we got to have one common goal in mind, right? We got to be different. We've got to be different To create and initiate synergy, you gotta be different. Why? Because if we all think the same thing, then we're not going to really be able to come up with a solution or an idea of where everybody can really win. I mean, I know it sounds a little confusing, but, you know, why be with someone who's not bringing anything to the table? So if everybody has the same idea and we're creating this group to be able to build upon it, we're all bringing the same thing to the table, we're not really creating an environment. Think about it. If you're, this is how I'll break it down. What if your liver was designed to do the same thing as your heart? Right? No, no, no. They both do two different things, but they work together to create a synergy environment for your body to work. Now, if your liver did the same thing as your heart, then that means one of them wouldn't be needed to be able to create that synergy environment. Hopefully that makes sense, right? And so that's why we've got to be able to have the differences, right? You want to have a sense of self. You've got to know who you are. Because again, remember, this does also require to have empathic listening. And one of the challenges of empathic listening is that if you are not sure of who you are and what it is that you want, what your mission statement is, you can fall prey to other people's beliefs. Okay? I just want you, you ever had somebody that, okay, for example, like I know a woman that, she's been able to do some, I'm just making up somebody. She's been able to do some great things in life. She's just done some amazing things, right? And then she meets another woman, right? And now, mind you, this first woman has gone through challenges in her life. She's dealt with situations and, all types of things. But then she meets another woman who has gone through a different kind of challenge. And because she's a leader, she learns how to have empathic listening. So she listens to this woman and her story, and then she says, you know what? Well, maybe because of this and this and this, she probably can't ever win. So now what she has done is she has fallen prey, right, to that person's, and I like to say prey, but fallen prey to that person's beliefs on why they can or cannot do something, right? That's the challenge with empathic listening. Because if you don't know exactly who you are, then you would fall into other people's beliefs. And so it's very important that you've got to know who you are, have a sense of self. You want to stay open to differences and new ideas. Stay authentic. Stay authentic. Don't shun out other people's ideas. There's no way to create a synergy environment if you're not willing to listen to what other people believe and say and what they're talking about, right? It doesn't mean you have to always agree, but still stay open. Embrace trust, okay? In order for people to trust you, you got to be able to trust them. And to create an environment of synergy, we got to trust each other, right? Accept a better way will likely be their way, will not likely be their way 100%, right? So when we're creating an environment of synergy, for example, the husband, he maybe didn't want to go to this particular fishing place, right, because it's not as nice as the other one, but we were still able to still go fishing, right? Maybe the mother, she wanted to be able to spend 100% of her time, but she still has to be able to spend some time with her family, but because they're so much closer, she can be able to do both. So you don't always win 100%, but we still all win because we're able to make all of this happen. So honestly, when you look at it, we win bigger, okay? But it may not be 100% of exactly what you wanted, right? Offer respect to everyone and everything. The worst thing to do is reject somebody's idea. Nope, that won't work. Nope, you're wrong. That's not right. You don't want to do that, right? And then you got to be able to apologize and forgive. Sometimes with creating these environments, there can be situations where you might have come up with a solution or you might have come up with an objection or whatever, and you didn't, you want to be able to quickly apologize. I have had to practice that myself, and I've been setting myself to be faster to apologize in situations when I know that I was wrong much quicker to be able to keep those deposits into that emotional bank account. Practice mindful listening. Listen with empathy. We talked about that, right? Maintain an open desire to understand, understanding people, understanding why they are the way they are, not just trying to put your thoughts and beliefs on them. One of the biggest challenges sometimes that I get with individuals is understanding what drives them, right? Even with me. You know, what drives me is totally different from what may drive somebody else. You know, what excites me is totally different. And so sometimes we push our thoughts and our excitements on other people, and you can't do that. You've got to be able to understand what is exciting this person. Why does this person want to do what they want to do? You know, when it comes to their business, their life, their family, whatever, you've got to be willing to understand that, right? Controlled negative judgment. Judgment, and we talked a lot about judgment. Guys, if you don't really understand what is judging, because people, I've realized a lot of people don't really know what judgment is, you want to go back, okay? You definitely want to go back and listen to or read, habit number 5, okay? You can go back and listen, of course, to our review, but you want to go back and read for sure habit number 5 to understand, but, you know, he really goes into depth of talking about judgment, you know, questioning and, you know, putting our own ideas of what this person means. And, you know, it's something I've dealt with a lot, you know, in both situations, judging and being judged. And so I know exactly now, just based on what I've read, and I tell you, I'll never be the same from really being able to dig down deep into these particular habits. And to stay with win-win, right? Stay with win-win, not negative synergy. Win, lose, or lose. You know, that's never a good situation where anybody loses, okay? It's never good. Win-win with, you know, real good positive outcomes, right? That's where we want it to happen, all right? Now, the questions for the review, number 1 is, what did you learn from this particular section? What did you learn from this section? And guys, you know, I would love for you to actually put your comments in any of the fields, you know, below the video on YouTube. You can put your comments on SoundCloud, as we are on SoundCloud as well, Visionary Book Club. If you just go to SoundCloud and look up or search Visionary Book Club, you'll be able to find it there. It's also on my app. I'm going to show you guys. Let me show you my phone. Oh, it's now dead, so I'll show you on this phone. You can download my app if you haven't already done so on iTunes or the store, Play Store. So this is my app right there. You see my little picture with my pose. And so if you go to the app, let me show you. Hopefully it'll do it while we're on the phone. Well, okay, yeah. So you go here on this, you'll see it says Visionary Book Club Review right here. All right. And so if you click on it, it's like a little radio. It'll show all the past SoundClouds, and so you can go there, and I think you can leave comments there as well. But you can also leave the comments in our discussion groups, in our groups on the Google groups as well as the Facebook. Remember, Facebook page is facebook.com/official Visionary Book Club. Okay, so facebook.com/official Visionary Book Club. You want to go to that particular page, guys. And I tell you, just leave those answers below, because you never know. You might be the lucky winner for one of the next calls, okay? And so, you know, definitely do that. You know, definitely leave. What did you learn most from this particular section? I definitely want to know, you know, what did you learn? Because I want to make sure that you guys are getting something out of this. You know, I can't know if I don't hear anything, and so I definitely want you guys to let me know about that, okay? So again, facebook.com, official Visionary Book Club, official Visionary Book Club, and then of course you can go to visionarybookclub.club, which will take you straight to the Facebook page. And then if you go to visionarybookclub.com, it'll take you, go down to the bottom, okay, go down to the bottom, and you can click on the Facebook as well as the Google group to take you straight there. Okay, so if you're ever trying to figure out where to get the questions, you just go there. And a lot of the questions, I'm going to be honest now, we're going to do the questions a little bit differently. A lot of the questions are going to be real simple, real plain, kind of like, what did you learn? You know, what information did you take away, stuff like that. So it'll make sure that you actually read the information. So this is the link right here, facebook.com, official Visionary Book Club, and then visionarybookclub.com. Okay, so I'm going to keep this thing rocking and rolling, all right? And then what is your learning style? What is your learning style? And, you know, I don't, honestly, when I look at the different kinds of learning styles, guys, I personally learn in a lot of different ways. One of the things that I'm really, you know, able to learn through is through interaction. Okay, I know a lot of people say I don't learn until I actually put it to work, and so, you know, that's big. And then also I learn a lot through stories. Stories with me are really good with me being able to identify. That's why I'm able to remember more of the stories from this particular book, and so it helps a lot. Okay, and so I've got other. I mean, I'm, you know, logical, but we all have different types of learning styles. So I think it's important to understand what your style is, especially when you're bringing stuff to the table. And then, of course, through observation, being able to understand what other people's learning styles are. I also want to shout out today's winner, Miss Susan Stanley. She actually responded to habit number 5 from last week. Susan, just please email me at winner@visionarybookclub.com, winner@visionarybookclub.com. Email me your mailing address. I'm going to send you something real special in the mail for participating. And if you guys want to kind of see, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Oh, yeah, let me share my screen so you guys can see where she posted. Here. I really hope you guys have been seeing the whole time because I just saw a little error there. But anyways, so let's see here. I'm going to go to my communities on Facebook. Oh, actually, I think she posted on the Facebook page. So as you can see, I'm going to facebook.com. Okay, once we can get these little errors to stop doing that. Facebook. 1 second so I can show you Susan's post. Official Visionary Book Club. All right. And I believe it was, let's see here. Here we go. She replied back on August when we had our review last week, and she said from the Google Groups page, she actually put it in the wrong place, but I was reminded of the best way for me to listen to my clients, partners, friends, and yes, even family too. When I listen, seek to understand, to rephrase the situation in my own words, reflecting their feelings and emotions, I can be assured that I only not assisted in the other person in walking through their emotions and making them less intense because they are not alone. But I find a better way to assist them as now I truly understand the situation. Wow, that's real strong, right? And then she also said, how is she going to practice the skills better? I'm going to practice the skill actively and intentionally with focus each day for 10 days in a row. Practice leads to progress. And I look forward to hearing about that progress, Susan. So congratulations again. Remember to email me at winner@visionarybookclub.com so that you can get your gift, and just shoot me your mailing address, not just your email address. Also make sure, guys, I know there's a lot of people that are watching this video or listening in, and maybe somebody referred you to us. Make sure that you have joined my Visionary Circle. If you haven't already done so, you can go to TariaAvant.com. That is something separate from the Visionary Book Club, but we do a lot of other stuff outside of just our reviews. In fact, we're going into a 90-day life transformation in mind, body, and soul. And so I'm excited about that. We've got a lot of people that are jumping on to participate with that. And then make sure, guys, that we know that next week we're going to be reviewing the final habit, which is habit number 7, sharpen the saw. And this is the habit of self-renewal. And so we're excited about that habit. Make sure, guys, that you are going back and looking at, all the past videos. Of course, this is, I believe, our 4th video, as well as listening to the past calls from habits 1, 2, and 3. But or it might be 1, 2, and this might 1, 2, and 3, and this might be our 3rd video, something like that. But guys, this has been an incredible time. I'm looking forward to more personal development with you guys, and we've got a new book that'll be coming up. In fact, I'll probably be announcing the new book for our review that you're going to need to get before next week. So you'll get that information too, so that you can go ahead and get your book and be prepared. And again, don't forget, guys, you can actually download the apps. So you can do the review on your phone. We definitely want to get more people participating on these webinars or hangouts, shall we say. And I just really look forward to seeing each and every one of you next week, guys. You know, my name again is Taria Vision Avant. Vision is the art of seeing what's invisible to others, guys. It's been an incredible time. I appreciate each and every one of you, even through the challenges and the difficulties. You guys always still remain very faithful to this book club. So have yourself an amazing night. See you next week. Good night. God bless. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever it is that you are. And I look forward to seeing you guys. Bye-bye.